to you in studio.
Thank you very much, Ken Gashui there, joining us from Nakuru County at this scene of the accident as investigations continue. I'll be touching base with him a little bit later. But in studio with me, I have Dismas Mukwa, who is a political risk analyst, as well as Bishop Hudson Ndeda, who is the chairperson of Church and Clergy Association of Kenya. Karibuni sana. Bishop, we look at the situation, the unfortunate incident that happened in Untumishi, and one would ask the question, where does that leave the country in terms of securing our children who are especially in boarding schools? Because this is not the first incident that we see.
Yeah, we have just talked about it. This is a very sad situation for the country. And considering that this is a school that is surrounded by security forces, we're talking of NYS, we are talking of police, we are talking of military. They are surrounding that school. And you wonder if such things can happen in such a school. This is a school that has, it is close to a lot of security forces than any other school in this country. And we've just heard that even up to now, there are some bodies that are yet to be taken to the morgue and all that. And this is like, I think, over 10 hours later. So we are asking ourselves, then who is safe? And which school is safe if such a school cannot have safety? This reminds me of Honorable Matiang'i when he was a Minister for Education. He put in some measures that he was able to follow, and he was very strict on them, and we could see a lot of change in the education sector. But the problem we have in this country, we have people who are in office just for the check, but they're not ready for work. And again, some of the measures that were put in place is like about the domes, how they should look like, how the windows should look like, how big they should be. Imagine we are told that those windows were so much with the metal that cannot be broken. So probably would have saved some of the students if the measures that were put in before by Minister Matiang'i, I will refer to him because he did a very good job when he was Minister for Education. So if those measures were followed, probably we could not be having such deaths that we've had. 16 children are too much to lose. As Mokua said before, we are talking of 32 parents that are mourning. If we talk of the father and the mother, and many who are in pain because of seeing their children in a very awkward situation. They are sick, and you know, we're talking of burns, they're in hospital. It is not something small. And for me, I would really want to urge the government, can we make this an example? We want to see heads roll. Let the principal come out and say which measures had he or she put in place.
Yeah. Dismiss briefly, is this a question of quality assurance that does not exist, or people overlooked what it is they ought to have done?
Obviously, it's a quality assurance, but please allow us to send our condolences to the families that are affected, because as we said, times above number 16 shouldn't be seen as a piece of statistics. You're talking about human beings, you're talking about the future of Kenya. Now, one would expect, I mean, we watch a lot of these air crash investigations that after every fire, that after a building collapses, there's a deliberate investigation and people pick lessons of best practices which are spread across all airlines. One would expect that after all the fires we've had in Kenya, buildings collapsing, there's a document which is used as a reference point. And one would want to ask whether this building was actually done or put up by a qualified architect, whether this building was inspected. I mean, how do you put up a boarding facility, a dome like this, as if it's a police cell, as if it's a prison, that wherever there's an incident, the pupils or the students cannot get out? I mean, are these people suggesting that the place is so insecure that as soon as the children or the pupils or the students go in, getting out becomes a challenge? One would expect that there is a fire drill, some sort of disaster preparedness so that in case of anything, people do not just die. I mean, when your report has indicated that some of the people, the kids are being treated because they were jumping out instead of using a staircase. And one expects that the DCI is on site. One expects that there's going to be thorough investigations so that there is a criminal responsibility. We need to see people behind bars. And outside seeing people behind bars, the responsible officers must resign. In other economies, in other jurisdictions, when this happens, ministers resign. But so far, it appears to be business as usual.
As usual. And it is an unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in. We continue this conversation with our guests in studio. Let's take a short commercial break. When we come back, we will be diving deeper into this as well as what our other reporters are saying on ground.